I was really hoping we were done hanging out in this Pokemon Center. We've got a lot of places to go at this point after all, sure. There's no time limit for when we get to the next location, but still, 11 clips in, and I still haven't gotten my first badge yet. That's when I've been liberally using the fast forward button here, sure. I could blame the opening sections in Earl's Academy for that, but still, I am clearly not showing any sense of urgency whatsoever. But then to be fair, it's not like there's anything to be urgent about at this point. We're just going through a Pokemon journey that pretty much everyone on the planet starts at some point early in their lives. Granted, not everyone beats their local region's 8 gym leaders and then beats the champ afterwards, though it can certainly feel that way when every player character in every mainline game has done so with no signs that the series is ever gonna stop with that tradition. I probably should do more of the spin-off games like Ranger, Conquest, and the second Pokemon Snap at some point. But again, I've got a massive to-do list, and the likes of Final Fantasy and Suikoden have been waiting for me to get around to working on them. Hell, you might be able to argue that the original Final Fantasy has better storytelling than most Pokemon games, even though there's little to no character interactions in that game. Maybe I'm just being overly harsh towards the story in the first 2 generations of Pokemon at the very least. Dear God, Venus just can't seem to do anything against any of the enemies we're coming across out here right now. Absolutely everything is resistant to her only attack move. And it's going to take us quite a while to get to a point where we can teach her the move Cut, so she's got something that can strike neutral against bugs and birds. Again, she's not going to be all that useful against the first 2 gyms, much like poor Flender over there. Hard to visit the tower if we haven't been to this town before. At least you have a motive to call home here. If Chris calls home, all she'll get is her mother asking if we want her to keep saving some small bits of our winnings. Anyway, we've now officially made it to the next town. Dear God, that trip was more excruciating than it strictly needed to be. And it only took us 11 clips into this Let's Play. Well, now that we're here, we can start talking to the people. Maybe learn more about the world surrounding us and the people in it. Or I could immediately start training in some nearby grass so we can get Venus up to par. Dear God, Pokemon really does make me want to grind along quite a bit, doesn't it? Excuse me, I think I'm gonna let this clip stay short so I can keep some measure of sanity at the moment. I checked ahead in the footage and it looks like we'll actually start to talk to the people in the town and explore it when I'm done leveling up in this bit of raw footage. And that next bit of raw footage looks like it's a very healthy 20 minutes long, with very little excuse for me to fast forward through any sections, so I doubt I'd be able to fit this 10-minute fast forwarding session into the same clip. I hope that's not going to be especially annoying to wait for. I assure you, progress is being made. Unfortunately, Pokemon games in general are extremely long, even if they are simplistic, at least in terms of plot. Hell, I've already got a game or 2 in mind for what I want to work on once I'm done with the 2nd generation of Pokemon. And isn't that always frustrating, suddenly getting the itch to work on a different project when you've got a few others going on at the same time? Hell, that's why I started working on this one when I did in the first place. I've got 2 other LPs I'm working on right now, with a few good follow-ups for each of those games in mind. And I just felt that itch, that I needed to get a move on with some of the RPGs I've been sitting on for a good long while. Juggling 3 personal projects at once is going to be a bit of a mess in its own right, especially when I've got multiple jobs I have to worry about at the same time. trying to shove a fourth personal project into the mix would be downright insane. Can Venus actually finish off this wounded Pidgey? Good to know that I underestimated our plant lady a bit when she's at level 7 at this point. It's still gonna be a pain in the ass to get her to level 9, though. Oh well, at least it's going by faster than Flender's grind to the same level. That's a bit of a relief, though it probably would have been better if I just kept Bellaram on the team long enough to finish Sprout Tower and the first gym. Then switch to Venus instead of bringing her in when she won't be of much help. Whew, I definitely appreciate that critical hit, considering we only have 10 shots when fully rested. Okay, just one more level to go, and we've got the entire team up to par. Speaking of, I suddenly have the odd sense that golf probably doesn't exist in the Pokemon world. Not when there are so many vast stretches of purposely wild territory. Not that I've got any strong attachment to golf, I just find that bit interesting when I think about it, really. Just how many sports out there would not exist because Pokemon battling, contests, and various other Pokemon-related activities took over the sports scene. Part of me was tempted to say that soccer wouldn't exist either, but then the Galar region from the Switch has soccer-style stadiums, the various trainers wear soccer-style uniforms, one of your starters is literally a soccer-playing fire bunny. As I said before, it feels like Game Freak just plain stopped trying to bother with world building and making the Pokemon world seem even more and more fleshed out from game to game. And the Nintendo Switch was around the point when it became so undeniable that I'm amazed heads aren't rolling in that company for the sheer amount of lost confidence in their products those games and their DLC inspired. Yeah, definitely seems like it'd be a terrible idea to send Venus against either the flying or bug gyms. It kind of feels like the grass starter is around as screwed in this generation as the fire starter was in the first generation. But then Brock and Misty felt like easier trainers to take seriously than Falkner and Bugsy. It's just downright amazing how little respect I have for the first two gym leaders in this generation, when it's taking me so damn long just to reach the first of them. Hell, it is entirely my fault that it's gonna take so long to beat the first two gym leaders. It's not like anything was stopping me from going at them before I even bothered with Sprout Tower. But no, I'm gonna be going after the tower before the gym, since that's some ground where we could possibly gain another teammate or two, which would give me more excuse to grind. God damn it. Oh, son of a bitch, that feels like the only useful move that the Hoppip things have. And it's just there to drag things out unnecessarily. At least when it's on a wild Pokemon, it feels unnecessary. I'm sure there are plenty of strategies where having a dedicated self-healing move would be very much appreciated, but none of those strategies can be used here, because the Hoppips at this level only know Splash and Synthesis. No offensive moves whatsoever. And with that, Venus has leveled up to the point where she belongs on the team as we keep pushing forward. Not that Venus is going to be of any use in the supposedly major trials we're supposed to go through next, but hey, it's the principle of the matter. Anyway, that does it for this clip. least the extra bit of grinding didn't last long.